You know, it's always very interesting to review some of the very new premium supercars, but actually the more important cars are those that more people can drive, that are more relevant to hundreds, thousands of people worldwide over the next years. And one of those cars is the all-new Volkswagen Polo, the 6th generation. And it's about time that I take a look at it personally here on Autogefühl, your #1 resource for in-depth car reviews and your #1 community to discuss cars. Today with Thomas. We're going to take a detailed look on the exterior and the interior, talk about technology and the engines, and we are also today joined by product experts who fill us in more trim level details. So if you are looking into a new Polo for buying it, then you get the advice which trim level you might want to go for. We have the R-Line and the Beast trim here today, but also talk about more of that when you don't go for that one, but for other trim levels. Interior with the new cockpit, and also what about the engine future we have there also as for the sustainability sense. And everything of that, as always, in full HD, full screen and full length. Join us, let's go! The new front here with the R-Line, with a little bit bigger lower bumper, soon show a different model. But here, what all new Polo have is this front lip inspired by the new Arteon, and that makes the car appear a little bit lower in the front. Here also now with optional LED front headlights. It's also the new vehicle platform MQB A0. The MQB is also the one that the Golf is on, but the A0 is a little bit derivative, so for the smaller cars. But that also means the car has become wider, about 7 centimeters wider, and you can see it has a bigger stance on the road. Then let's take a detailed look at the lights. Here you can see the LED signature light. There was a beeper here from the interior of the car. And when you turn off the rear lights, you can also see the difference done with the LED on, with the LED headlights on. Here again the LED daytime running light. That again, so those are the difference. High beam like this. So really looks nice, and it has been a little bit criticized that the normal daytime running light is not really straight. So what's your take on that? Do you more prefer if it would be really straight, or do you prefer those curves in the signature LED daytime running light? 4.05 m or 13.3 is the total length, so about 8 centimeters longer, and 5 centimeters of that is for the longer wheelbase to create more space on the interior. The overall layout is classic Polo, rather conservative, but they have added some more nuances here, for example design lines on the height of the door handle to play a little bit with light and shadow. Also in this R-Line we got bigger rims, 17-inch, soon more about the trim levels in our product expert interview, what about the rim size and so on, so stick with us in this case. Then a little falling roofline here. Overall, we also got an accentuated C-pillar, so it does remind us a little bit of the Golf now, coming closer to that, and maybe some people might want to go for a high trim level Polo than for a low trim level Golf. You will have to try that out yourself, but definitely already from the exterior, a very interesting aspect. I want to hear your opinion. What do you think about the new Golf? Haha, got you, got me. About the new Polo design. That's the confusing thing. And you can also see at the rear where other small car segment cars actually play a little bit more with round structures. The Polo tries to be more angular, more in a, let's say tech style, also with the new optional LED taillights. So everything is again stressed in the width. And we talk about, for example, those exhaust tips here. Are they really real? We're also going to solve this question there in our interview soon to come. Standard key. If you ever need the manual one, you can flip it out. Then door handles with a very solid door closing sound. It has R-line on the exterior, but not on the interior, by the way, but still the design is fitting towards it. There will be a lot of different interior colors available, so personalization is a big scheme here. Then this is hard plastic here, also the lower part. That could have been softened up, that would have been nice. Then cloth here for where your arm is resting, that's good. Auto window handles for all four windows. Then interior, and this is one very special thing. First of all, soon more to the digital instruments. You can already see it right here. That's optional. You can still have analog ones. Then take a look at those seats. I think this is the special thing about the Polo. There are so many different seats available and always sustainable materials. Here fabric or cloth, and you still already have, for example, here some nice design elements. You have good accentuated shoulder parts, contrast stitches. So lovely work done there in the design, in the design way. Soon we also experience what about sitting on it, especially if you're a little bit taller. You know, I'm 1.86 m or 6'1". And let's see. You know, we can pump it up, y'all, man. Down or lower. It's the lowest position, then to the front and the rear, actually quite wide. Then steering wheel in all four ways adjustable manually, and indeed you get the feeling as you would be in a Golf, not necessarily in a small car segment. I think usually I leave the seat way down, but it can be good to have it a little bit higher, not because I want to sit higher, but because in the lowest position, the angle of the seat is a little bit backwards. Here, like this, it's a little bit more straight, which is, I think, better for the long-term run. Yeah, let's use the belt as well to get the good driving position. Then you can, of course, manually adjust the back part with a turning knob, basically. And you really feel more like in the compact class segment. I think that's also the effect of the new MQB A0 platform. It doesn't really feel that small. It feels rather spacious in here. Well, let's put the seat very low again. Headroom-wise, that is left for me. We have the panoramic roof, so if you're like a little bit over 119 meters or over 6'2", 6'3", then you should start thinking about not going for the panoramic roof, that your headroom is a little bit increased. But overall, I think the biggest difference to the Polo so far is that you have more space and the seating position will be more comfortable, especially those seats which offer a lot of space, but also side support at the same time. So pretty sporty, those seats. So the digital instruments, again optional, just above 10 inch. And you can have the GPS view in there. Also, you can have it all the way. Soon more details to that with an expert. The only thing I would not do in the way, you can either have it here or in the infotainment screen. So you would switch them around them each. And I'm not sure why they just do it parallelly like in the Passat or in the Tiguan. So the cockpit overview, more horizontal stretch here, then so many different colors available for that one to spice up your Polo life. 6.5 or 8 inch screens as we see it right now. Soon more details to that. Just one button left here basically for the warning indicators. Then rather lower, by the way, this one here is a little bit softened up, so like that. Dashboard also softened up, so a nice quality right there. And the climate unit is still manual. This is the electronic control now, also the higher trim where you can control the vents or then also temperature still with its own knob. I like that. Here also equipped with a DSG shifting lever. Behind it you find 2 USB slots and some more space, for example, for your smartphone goes quite deep there, so you can really have big smartphones there. Then we still have lower manual handbrake. You know, I need that totally for my rally driving. 12-volt power supply. The beverage holders are not adaptive, so that might be a little floppy for small bottles, but they are small in general. So big bottles, that might be a problem. Then armrest, pretty fixedly attached. I like that. And you know, you do have some space in there, but not too much. The panoramic roof is also bigger now, and let's open it right there. And this is really also rather golf size, so you can leave a lot of light in there, and also can open it but still have the sunshade, so that's also possible. What about the rear bench? Does this really make a difference now? First of all, the design is really great also for the rear, as all design schemes we see in the front we can find also on the rear seats. So lovely work here from the interior designers. That's really my favorite piece about this new vehicle. However, how will it score now in the test for the legroom? You know, it's the new platform and I have the seat mounted as I would be sitting in the front. And that does work actually for tall people also in the rear. Now the interesting thing is, at the moment at the same time I also have a test vehicle, a Golf R variant. You will also soon see the review of that. And I just tested it yesterday and the knee room was not way different. So here still have some more room in front of my knees, although I'm not like a very small person. That's really working. Also headroom wise, some more space left right there. So this is really a result of usually, a compact class car, and I think also the biggest strength here of the Polo. Other cars which are very good in this respect is, for example, also the Honda Jazz. This one is also a small vehicle which has an enormous size on the interior. So this is definitely the best improvement as for the versatility of this vehicle. Let's flip the logo to open the trunk. 351 liters it is now. Good dimensions you can see on the left and the right. You can lift that one here up. You can fit, for example, a spare tire right there if you like. And well, flipping the seats from here, it is theoretically possible. You can reach over here and then flip it in a 1/3, 2/3 split. Like this, pretty easily done. And then you can also access the whole size. I can move the front seat further to the front. You cannot flip it totally, but that would be the maximum setup then, for example. So you can still use this small vehicle in a very versatile way. I think also a good result for the trunk space, or what do you think? Of course, you can remove the top cover here to be a little bit more flexible. This one here also with a we don't really need an electric hatch for that one, so I'm really fine with the manual. Grip handles here in the lower part that you don't have to, get dirty hands when it's rainy outside and stuff. And well, let's see if I can really manage it in one piece. Like this. Ta-da. Or what about a red Polo here in the Beats edition? Take a look at it from the front, 16-inch rims, side and the rear. Do you prefer rather this one here? And if you want to see a red GTI, also check out Brian's review from the world premiere to see that style. And the Beats edition is really about style, so I welcome you to the interior and I open both doors at the same time, that you can really see that the design scheme is again carried out through the whole vehicle, front and rear. And I really love those white contrasts. I love bright interiors. Here they really set the contrast scheme, also fitting to the red exterior color. What about that? Also leather red is being used on the outside, so also good for the sustainability mix. We'll give you more details about that in our interviews very soon. But here the first look, I think, pretty fancy. And you see, we have rather conservative layout on the exterior, but the interior is definitely more playful and also tries to appeal to a younger audience. Dirk Wejnarowski is the product manager for the Polo, and he will tell us what about the different trim levels, because I always think it's very important that the customer really has the information to decide, because the price list configurator is so long.
Yeah.
So maybe, this is the top, the R-Line trim level. But maybe we can start at the very base. How would a base Polo look like, also like with the alloys? And maybe you can explain with the differences we have here on the R-Line, what's the difference then to the other trim levels?
Okay, yeah, let's start with the trend line, Thomas. The trend line will start with 14-inch steel wheels, and we will have the mirror housing in black. And then if you go up to the comfort line, especially for Germany, we have the 15-inch steel wheel and the mirror housing in the color. For the comfort line, of course, you can choose a lot of different alloy wheels then as an option, and our airline package we see here. And for the Highline,
17-inch, we got then there 17-inch in the airline.
Exactly, this is an option from the R company. It's the biggest size you can get on the regular Polo.
So 17-inch is not standard for the R-Line? It's
no.
16 now? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there's the airline package is without a wheel. You have to choose.
Okay.
You can choose any alloy wheel you want to the airline package. But the package for itself, it's without a special wheel, so you can choose your one. And then of course you have the Highline that will start with the 15-inch alloy wheel for the German market. Other markets have graded up that they start with the 16 in the Highline perhaps.
And what else do we see with the R now? We got here this sidewall. It's designed like an air outtake. We see maybe from big sports cars, but just a design feature.
That's a design feature, exactly. Yeah. On the side you have the
the side skirts.
The side skirts, exactly. In the front, you have a complete new bumper. This one is completely different with the inserts from the R-Line. You have the R-Line logo up here, and you have this, we call it the mask for the front. So you have a complete new front for the R-Line, and then you have in the back you have a different diffuser.
So it would basically be, if I say I like the design of the GTI, but I don't want I don't need the biggest engine. Yeah. Maybe I don't want to spend so much money for a GTI, but I still want the sporty styling. Yeah. Then I would go for the R-Line.
Yeah, or if you just say I want to differentiate the regular Polo a little bit, make it a little bit more sporty. Then you get, as you can see, you get the diffuser in the back with the chrome outtakes.
Yeah, that's again those fake exhaust. A lot of people are like a little bit mixed in feelings. What's your take on this? Because some say, that's a fake exhaust, it's not real. Then designers say, hey, come on, so we can have for every engine the very same layout.
Yes.
So that is, big discussion at the moment.
Yeah, our point of view was we save a lot of complexity on this topic and put on the stuff where we really need it, on the individualization, on the connectivity parts, and put the money we saved on that part somewhere else.
What about the taillights? I mean, they have this new tech 3D style also here with those accentuations. Yeah. Is that only also for the R-Line, or do we see it on every Polo like this?
This is our optional taillight. It's an LED technology, so it's an upgrade. You have it standard in a GTI, and for the Comfort Line and Highline as an option.
So for the R-Line, it would also be
an option as well, yeah, exactly.
So as the R-Line stands here right now, that vehicle, is that already double the entry price approximately, or how much more would you have to pay for that as a customer?
The airline package for the Highline is about 600 euros, and then you have to choose an alloy wheel for about 400 or 500 euros, and that's where we get the complete upgrade for the exterior. In Germany, the taillight costs about 200 euros in LED technology. So for about 1,000 euro, you get a complete new sporty airline exterior. What we didn't mention is the rooftop spoiler that comes with the airline package as well.
A little bit like in the you've seen recently the Porsche Panamera Sport Turismo review. That reminds me a little bit of that.
A little bit, yes.
That's maybe a good thing for the Polo, isn't it?
It's a good reference, definitely. What else you can choose? Here we have a black rooftop, so if you like your car, make it a little bit more sporty as well, you can choose a black roof as well as an option. You get the black mirror houses to it, and we have a special black package where you get a black wheel to it as well. Just
so
imagine
this whole part would be in black then?
Yeah,
as well.
The whole, not the spoiler, but the whole roof, not in combination with the sunroof, but if you don't have it, the whole roof is in black, the mirror housing, you get tinted windows, and if you want to, the black wheels as well.
Cool.
So, I think that will look really cool, really sporty to have this combination.
I'd say let's move on to the Beats edition. So this is now the Beats edition. Would that one more targeting towards younger customers? And how is it, in the whole lineup? Is it more expensive or is it cheaper than the R line?
Yeah, you're completely right. That is for our younger customers. Or it starts from the basis, the Comfort line. So that's not that much expensive on the higher range. Yeah, exactly, that's a middle trim. And our goal was like an achievable model for the young customer right from the start, from the beginning, to have it. What's new on it? We have special 16-inch alloy wheels. We have the black mirror housings. Then we have some sticker on top.
And with like a rally stripe in the front.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have the Beats logo outside here that you can see it. That's a differentiation from the outside, and actually the biggest differentiation, of course, is in the inside, so that you have a completely new and modern and up to date interior.
Let's take a look and
maybe have a look inside.
That's really colorful, isn't it? Right?
Yes.
So maybe you can give us a short tour. What's special there?
Yeah, exactly. So this is our second trim. We have the Maui Rock up there with ceramic down here. That makes it a little bit fresher, a little bit younger, a little bit lighter. We have a special decor in velvet red.
So I heard there's like 17 different dashboard colors you can get?
Not for the Beats,
okay.
But we have about 10 versions for the interior and complete. And then you have a complete new seat with a special close where you find the velvet red line in it. That it fits to the decor element, and you have the ceramic seat in vegan leather.
Yeah, that's very important to us. That's also something of our topic, and more and more people demanding that. Also on our Autogefühl meets Volkswagen event, people were asking for it, and actually the Polo shows how it's possible.
Yeah. Exactly.
So also the same accounts for the inside of the doors, for example. That's all leather red. What we can see here. Yeah. Great. So the only thing that the steering wheel and the shifting stick, that one is still genuine leather, right?
Yes, exactly.
At least like in a higher trim, if you pick the lowest trim level, then you get a plastic steering wheel.
Yeah, that's a plastic, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But I mean,
we need that for the touch and for the feeling, for the durability. At the moment, it's still important to have that.
Yeah. At the moment, only Mercedes and Tesla offer also replacement, and also with a high durability rate. And well, maybe you can also offer something like that in the future. I'll take it for granted.
We take it. And of course, what we forget is the Beats sound system with 300 watts. We have 6 speakers, and you have the subwoofer in the back that makes a really nice and clear sound. There was set up and. Was everything in California with Beats and Dr. Dre, and the goal was like you have the sound like you're in a concert, not in a concert hall like with the Dyne Audio. It's a little bit more for the younger customer, that you have the bass, a lot more bass, that's what's favorable for Beats.
So that would also be the highest trim sound system, and can you only get it for the Beats? For example, if I say I want like the highest Polo that's available, like for GTI or an R-Line, then still the sound system would be better than that one?
No, you can order the sound system as well as an option from Comfort line up to the GTI.
But that would be the same?
It's the same sound system, but then you don't have the other differentiations of our special model.
Okay, so also like the Beats line here is really more a design line also, so to say.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, but here in this case, the sound system is already included.
It's included, of course, in the sound system. Yeah, that's included, exactly, as you said.
It actually started with the Volkswagen Up we presented you last year with this Beats edition, and so obviously, maybe did the customer accept it in that way that you said, it was really successful, let's also do it for the Polo?
Yeah, we have to roll it out. The Up was a little like a start, it just kept on going, and now with the Polo we have the first big launch, a new Polo, and then the Beats sound system or the Beats special model right from the beginning, and the market's already demanding this as we showed them before.
And now talking about engines, there are actually 2 big news from the engine lineup. First of all, we have normal petrol engines, then we still have diesel, but we also have a CNG, and the petrol engines will also ultimately receive a particle filter. Let's talk in detail about that. So first of all, what do we have? If we first start with naturally aspirated 1 liter NPI,
Yes.
and so that would be like, you know, the very entry level.
That's the entry level, exactly.
And then how we proceed further?
We have 2 MPIs with 65 and 75 horsepower. Then we will go up to the TSI. We will have 95 or 115 horsepower.
That's also a 1 liter engine?
That's also a 1 liter 3-cylinder engine,
3-cylinder,
exactly. They will both be available with DSG as well. And then we will go up to the 1.5 with active cylinder management.
That's a new Evo,
That's
the
a
1.5
new
Evo.
engine that will start with the DSG as well. That will come in the next year. And the top of the line, of course, our GTI with 200 horsepower, 2.0 4-cylinder engine.
So now really 2 liter of displacement that comes very close to a Golf, but of course, yeah, well, the Golf has been updated recently also to have a little bit more boost than, and it will start also with the DSG, but later on you will also be able to get a manual hand drive for the GTI?
Yeah. Approximately end of the year, end of next year, we will start with we will also offer the hand drive, manual shifting, yes.
Because, you know, a lot of GTI fans, also for the Polo, want, you know, the real stuff.
Exactly.
So that will be also available again. Then there's 1.6 liter diesel TDI.
Exactly.
How many?
85 and 80 and 95 kilowatts.
And also the bigger one with DSG then?
The bigger one also with the DSG.
Okay.
And they will standard come with SCR, with the diesel particle filter.
So that's for the diesel, but also the petrol engines are supposed to get a particle filter because, you know, there's no NOx emissions in the way that the diesel would have it.
Yeah.
That is, you know, about the SCR filter then, but then there's also the particle filter, which is also pretty common already with diesels, but not common yet with petrol engines.
Yeah,
but so, can you give us an outlook, when is it coming and for which petrol engines, or for all?
The auto particle filter is for the TSI engines. It will not come with the MPI engines, and we will start introducing it by the middle of the next year.
And then for all
and then it will be for all the TSI engines, exactly. Okay. So from the 95 up to the GTI.
So an MPI does not bring so much particles that you would need it actually?
It's from the burning process.
Yes.
In the TSI is a lot more pressure in it, and that makes a lot more particles. And that's on the MPI not. And that's where we don't need it for the MPIs, only for the TSIs.
Another engine type where we also do not need a particle filter would be the CNG, would be the Erdgas in German, and so compressed natural gas, about 200 bars, where you have the pressure, and it burns relatively clean. You have seen, for example, in the A5 G-Tron review, even if you literally look at the exhaust, you do not see that the exhaust would get any, you know, any dark, any black, so you really see it that it burns very cleanly, and it doesn't need any particle filter. And here, for the small car segment, which is pretty rare, you will also offer a CNG engine. Can you tell us more about the CNG engine here?
Yeah, of course. We will have. We will take this base engine. We have the 1.0 TSI engine and combine it with the CNG. As you said, it will have 90 horsepower, only with the manual gearbox.
So what's the total range then? Also looking at the capacity of the gas bottles.
Yeah, we have 2 gas bottles with about 12 kilograms, and you will have a range about 350 kilometers with that.
Just on CNG?
Just on CNG, exactly. And it's 390 actually, it's 390. And additionally to that, you have the complete gasoline tank with 40 liters, so you have a range more or less than 1,300 kilometers on both tanks.
So you can run it on both, but of course the ultimate goal is just to run on CNG primarily.
Exactly.
We know it's really successful in the Italian market.
Exactly.
For example, also, you know, for VW commercial vehicles already, also for Seat. I think Seat recently told us, I talked with Luca De Meo, and he told me like they sell 50% of the compact and small cars in CNG in Italy. It's a special case, but do you also try to, like in the product manager sense, that you try to balance out also maybe price-wise, that you a little bit boost the CNG engine, that you say, here customers, that's a good choice, you should go for it, maybe we also do something to make it very attractive?
Of course, for the Italian market, we will find the right price point, that we are good in the competitor set and in our lineup, that we will find a really good price point. And also it's important for some other market, the Netherlands, take it because of the good CO2 emission standards. In Germany it's quite common. Sweden, Czech Republic are some other CNG markets that take that car.
So at the moment, will it be comparable to a Polo diesel price, or is it maybe a little bit cheaper even? So how is it, how attractive is it price-wise for the customer approximately?
The price jump is about 2,800 euros. For diesel it's about 2,000, so it's a little bit above the diesel, but you pay less tax, and the gas is a lot cheaper than diesel as well. So you can drive for a really low amount of money for 100 kilometers, so it's a lot more attractive than a diesel for the customer as well.
So it will already pay off at about like 30,000, 40,000 kilometers you fly, or do you know when it pays really off? I mean, of course, it depends on the prices from market to market, but I think at least after like 2 or 3 years usually, depending on the drive, it really pays off, and then you're basically earning money.
And then you save more money than with a diesel, exactly. Yeah.
And is it also the case that when the CNG, I mean, it burns relatively clean, it should also be good for the engine, shouldn't it?
Yeah, and that's one point. And if you take biological gas, your CO2 emission is more or less zero. If you take the natural, like biogas, then you have a CO2 emission of zero actually.
Yeah. Thank you. And now we are joined by Klaus Lange, Head of Electronics in the small car segment. Of course, I would like to know, this is a small car and it's the first time we see a digital cockpit like this. So why would you introduce it for a small car? Is it maybe too expensive? Does the customer really want it?
Hi Thomas, that's a very interesting question. The answer is we want to approach young people, and what we have created is an entire digital instrument panel, which we think is adequate and top of the art for new vehicles of all sizes today, but especially this is an offer for young people, which we try to approach with this vehicle.
So we have seen digital instruments at Volkswagen so far, in the Golf, for example, since the facelift in the Tiguan, in the Passat. How is this one here different?
This is different. This is the latest generation that we have, and I would like to show you. We have 3 screens available. This is the start screen. What we can do now is we have this new button introduced. When we push it, opens the entire screen just for navigation, and down here you have the necessary information that you need for operating the car. It's like the gear that you have chosen and the driving speed. Then we can scroll through different menus, as we see. Then we have a next one.
It looks a little bit more rectangular than the one before, and even more widescreen alike. So it has a little bit more modern, more technology touch than the ones we've seen before.
Well, but that comes with the size of the display. This one is 10.25 inches in diagonal. But on the other hand, it has to be fit into the vehicle. And here we have tried to make it an optimum from the available space in the vehicle and the display size. So this is the next screen that we have. This is a more digital screen where we have the information right and left in digital form, and then we have, I would call the analog form with the conventional instrument cluster, but here you have only a limited size of information space for other information, and that's why you just push it again and you have the full screen of the digital navigation map and or any other information that you want to put on a display in this vehicle, like telephone, vehicle status, vehicle
driving data,
and so on.
Would you say that you do not need a head-up display then if you have such a system relatively directly in your sight?
I would not exclude that. Head-up display just shows a very limited amount of information, which is the information with the highest priority that you need. It's very convenient, But in this vehicle class, it is very difficult to bring it into a vehicle. So here it is, the size of the vehicle is rather the limiting.
The limiting, so because you would have to have a big box on the top of the dashboard then, or?
Well, inside the dashboard, yes.
Yeah.
Therefore, this is, of course, a very good alternative.
So do you think maybe, you know, at some point a Polo would maybe get a head-up display, or would you rather concentrate on this technology?
Yeah, I would leave that open. We have to see.
What has changed with GPS?
With the GPS, the overall instrument has a full glass cover with sensor buttons, which is very stylish.
So we still
and it has a new display.
So we still have the proximity sensor, because we've seen, for example, in Seat models that here Seat removed it, you know, also for space reasons and maybe also for cost reasons, but you still decided to go for the proximity sensor.
Yes.
Yeah. And what I find quite neat that, you know, some screens, they still have no buttons left then. Yes. And here you can still zoom in and out, which might be handy when you're driving, for example. And then when it's like bumpy on the road and it's a problem to do something just by touch, you can still zoom in and out of the map here with the analog knob, and also for the volume knob. Is it also something where you think, you know, I want to take the customer feedback into account there? I don't want to go all the way for just no buttons?
That is always a trade-off, because those buttons just take space, available space, and you always have to make the decision whether you want to give it for screen or display, or whether you want to give it for operating elements. Okay, another interesting feature from the multimedia device to the active info display is that you have the opportunity to configure the inside of the instrument panel from here. And you see we have corresponding information.
So you have an interface then from the central screen to the instruments.
Exactly. And when you're done with your setting, you can freeze it. Oops. Now it's frozen on view 2. And if I just have some other driver with a different setting, I can always reactivate my personal setting.
So it will also go in the direction of this Volkswagen ID.
Yes, it is stored for each driver that is operating the car can have his own setup.
And now my conclusion for today, the new generation of the VW Polo. Definitely it has grown in size, more space on the interior. The exterior, rather conservative, but with new angular spices, I would call it that way. For example, also with the new LED lights you've seen. Interior, definitely all about personalization, new color styles, and I think a great job in designing the seats sustainable and both visually attractive at the same time, also more comfort gain for this vehicle. And the engine technologies is, you know, nothing pure electrification yet, because that one will be up to the MEB, the modular electric building platform that will come, for example, with the Volkswagen ID. That will be then the electric car for this segment. But for all combustion engine cars, we see new solutions now with a CNG engine in a small car segment, and we'll also have those particle filters for the petrol engine. So that's, you know, the good things you can do with the status quo at the moment with normal combustion engines. So a lot of steps forward definitely with this vehicle. Also check out Brian's review from the world premiere to see some more colors, some more variations, and also soon join AJ when this car will be driven. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tell us your comments about the Volkswagen Polo in this new generation, and see you next time.